Part 1: The Desperate Plea. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council had never been so quiet. 12 species sat in their chairs. Their faces showed fear. Their hands shook. For 3,000 years this hall had seen peace. Today it saw the beginning of the end. High Counselor stood at the center platform. She was tall and thin, with pale blue skin and 4 eyes. Her voice was soft, but everyone heard her clearly. "The Dominion has taken 14 more systems," she said. "Our fleet at the border is gone. 2 million soldiers dead." No one spoke. The numbers were too big to understand. Elder Mara, the oldest member of the council, closed her 8 eyes. She had lived for 900 years. She had seen small wars. She had seen plagues, but she had never seen anything like this. The Dominion came from the outer rim of the galaxy. They were a warrior empire. They believed the strong should rule the weak. For centuries they had been far away. Then they started expanding, system by system, world by world. They asked each civilization the same question: surrender or die. The council had said no. That was their mistake. "We have 18 months, continued. "That is what our military analysts say. 18 months before they reach our core worlds, before they reach our homes." Ambassador raised her hand. She was from the species. Her skin was covered in soft golden fur. Her people were known for their wisdom and their courage. "There is another option," she said, "one we have never considered." The room turned to look at her. "We could contact the humans." The silence broke. Voices filled the hall. Some shouted in anger, some shouted in fear. The word human was like a curse in the council chambers. Raised her hand for quiet. "The humans are quarantined. This was decided 400 years ago. We do not contact species." "The quarantine was our choice," said. "We can change our choice." Elder Mora opened her eyes. "You do not know what you are asking, Ambassador. I was there when we first discovered Earth. I was there when we decided to never speak to them." She stood slowly. Her old bones made noise as she moved. She walked to the center of the hall. "Let me tell you about humans," she said. "Their planet is a nightmare. The gravity is crushing. The temperature changes from burning hot to freezing cold. Their atmosphere is filled with a gas that makes fire possible. Do you understand? Their air itself can burn." She looked at each council member. "Their world has predators in every environment, in the water, on the land, in the air. Even their plants can kill. They have diseases that change faster than any cure can follow. They have natural disasters that destroy entire regions." She paused. "And humans? Humans did not just survive this hell, they conquered it. They became the apex predator of a planet that was already full of apex predators. They spread to every corner of their world. They tamed the animals that hunted them. They burned the forests that stood in their way. They built cities where volcanoes erupted and earthquakes struck." The council was silent. "But that is not the worst part," Elder Mora said. "The worst part is what they do to each other. They invented war as we have never known it. Not battles for territory or resources. War for ideas. War for revenge. War for pride. They created weapons that could destroy their entire planet, and they pointed those weapons at each other." Counselor frowned. "This is exactly why we quarantined them." "Yes," Elder Mora agreed. "Because when we watched them, we saw what they truly were. They are not civilized beings who sometimes fight. They are warriors who sometimes pretend to be civilized. Violence is in their blood, in their history, in their songs and stories." Ambassador stood firm. "All of this is true, and all of this is exactly why we need them now." The argument lasted for hours. Some said the humans would help the Dominion instead. Some said the humans would turn on the council after the war. Some said the humans would demand too much in return. But in the end, the vote was clear. The council was dying. They had no choice. Ambassador was sent to Earth. Her ship entered the Sol system carefully. She expected to find a primitive world. She expected to see humans still trapped on their planet, still fighting each other, still centuries away from space travel. She was wrong. Human ships surrounded her vessel within minutes. They were fast, they were armed, they were not afraid. "Unknown vessel, identify yourself." The voice came through her communication system. It was calm but cold. His hearts beat faster. She had studied humans for years. She had seen videos of them. But hearing a human voice, knowing they were pointing weapons at her ship, was different. "I am ambassador of the Galactic Council," she said. "I come in peace. I carry a message for your leaders." There was a pause. "Follow our ships. Do not deviate from the assigned path. Any hostile action will result in your destruction." Followed. They brought her to a massive station orbiting Earth. Through her window she could see the human. It was beautiful in a terrifying way. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds. It looked peaceful from space. She knew better. A human met her at the docking bay. He was tall, with black hair and dark eyes. His face showed no emotion. "I am Dr. Lee Sung," he said. "I represent Earth in matters of first contact. Welcome to our home." "Bode, thank you for receiving me. I bring urgent news from the Galactic Council." She explained everything. The Dominion, the war, the defeats, the coming extinction of 12 civilized species. Dr. Lee Sung listened without interrupting. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. "You watched us for 400 years, he said. "You saw us grow, you saw us struggle, you saw us reach for the stars, and you never said a word. You were afraid of us. Could not deny it, yes. And now you want us to fight your war, to die for species who thought we were too dangerous to even speak to." "Yes," her voice was small. Dr. Lee Sung looked out the window at Earth, his planet, his people, his home. "Give me your data on the Dominion," he said. "I will bring this to our leaders. You will have an answer in 3 days." He turned to leave. Dr. Lee Sung called, "Will you help us?" He stopped at the door. He did not turn around. Humans have a saying, "Ambassador, be careful what you wish for." Then he was gone. Waited alone in the station. Through the window she watched human ships patrol the space around Earth. They moved like predators, quick, silent, always watching. She had asked for help from the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Now she could only pray she had not doomed everyone. Part 2, Earth Awakens. Director Jin sat at the head of the long table. Around her were the most powerful people on Earth: presidents, prime ministers, generals, scientists. They had all seen the alien data. They had all watched the recordings of Dominion attacks. "The Council has lost 4 major battles in 6 months," she said. "Their combined fleet is down to 30% strength. The Dominion has over 20,000 warships. The Council has less than 4,000. Admiral Park Ho leaned forward. He was a big man with gray hair and a scar on his chin. He had spent 40 years in the military. He had seen many wars, but never a war like this. "Show me the battle recordings again," he said. The holographic screen lit up. They watched as Council ships faced the Dominion. The Council fleet was organized. Their ships moved in perfect lines. They fired at the same time. They retreated at the same time. The Dominion fleet was bigger but moved the same way. Both sides fought like machines following a program. Admiral Park Ho laughed. Everyone looked at him. "They fight like children playing a game," he said. "Look at them, they line up, they shoot, they count their losses, then they do it again. There is no creativity, no surprise, no hunger." Captain nodded. She was young but brilliant. She had studied military history her whole life. "The Council species evolved on peaceful worlds," she said. "Their planets had stable climates, plenty of food, few predators. They never needed to fight to survive." She pointed at the screen. "Their wars are rituals, they follow rules, they have limits. They do not understand what real war looks like." Dr. Lee Sung spoke next. The Dominion is stronger, but they have the same problem. They conquer through numbers. They have never faced an enemy who refuses to play by their rules. Director Jin crossed her arms. What are you suggesting? Admiral Park Ho stood up. His eyes were bright. I am suggesting that these aliens have no idea what war really means. They have never seen total war. They have never seen scorched earth. They have never seen an enemy who would rather die than lose. He smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. They have never seen humans fight. The debate lasted 3 days. Some argued for staying neutral. Let the aliens kill each other. Earth was safe for now. Why risk human lives for species who feared them? Others argued for intervention. The Dominion would not stop at the Council. Eventually, they would reach Earth. Better to fight them now when humans had allies than later when they stood alone. In the end, the decision was clear. Humanity would go to war. Dr. Lee Sung returned to Ambassador with the answer. Earth will help the Council, he said, but we have conditions. Golden Fur stood up with hope. Name them. First, we will not fight under Council command. Our ships, our soldiers, our tactics, we do things our way. Hesitated. The Council may not accept this. Then the Council will die without our help. Dr. Lee Sung's voice was calm but firm. Second, we want full membership in the Council after the war. Voting rights, trade rights, territory rights. That can be arranged. Third and most important, Dr. Lee Sung looked directly into her eyes. The Council will not interfere with how we conduct war. You will see things that disturb you. You will see things that frighten you. You will want to stop us. You must not. Felt cold? What kind of things? You asked warriors for help, Ambassador. Now you will see what warriors do. The Council agreed to all conditions. They had no choice. Earth began to mobilize. In factories around the world, machines started running day and night. They built ships. They built weapons. They built armor. Human workers took short breaks and then returned to their stations. They did not complain. They understood what was at stake. In military bases on every continent, soldiers trained without rest. They learned zero-gravity combat. They learned ship-to-ship fighting. They learned how to kill aliens who were bigger, stronger, and faster than them. Sergeant led one of these training camps. She was small but tough. Her eyes were cold. Her voice was sharp. The aliens think we are savages, she told her soldiers. They locked us away because they were scared of us. Now they beg for our help. She held up a picture of a Dominion warrior. It was tall, with thick green skin and 4 arms. This is your enemy. They are stronger than you. They have better armor than you. They have been fighting wars for 1,000 years. She crushed the picture in her hand. But they have never fought humans. They do not know what we are capable of. They do not know how far we will go to win. In 6 months, Earth built a fleet that would have taken the Council 50 years to construct. 400 warships, 20,000 fighters, 1 million soldiers. Ambassador watched the fleet gather in orbit. Her hands trembled. How, she whispered, how did you do this so fast? Dr. Lee Sung stood beside her. Humans do not wait for perfect conditions, Ambassador. We act with what we have. We improve as we go. When we decide to do something, we do it completely. But the cost, the resources, the effort. Earth has been at war with itself for 10,000 years, Dr. Lee Sung said. We have built empires and destroyed them. We have developed weapons that could end our entire species. This, he gestured at the fleet, this is nothing compared to what we have done before. Admiral Park Ho's voice came through the speakers. All ships, this is Fleet Command. We depart in 1 hour. Our mission is to save the galaxy from the Dominion. He paused. Some of you will not come home. Some of you will die far from Earth fighting enemies you have never seen before. But you are human. You carry the spirit of every warrior who ever lived, every soldier, every survivor. every person who refused to give up when the world told them to die. His voice grew stronger. The aliens feared us. The Dominion has never heard of us. Soon, both will learn what happens when you wake the sleeping giant. The fleet engines lit up like 1,000 suns. Ambassador watched them go. She had asked for help. She had received an army. But as she watched the human ships disappear into the darkness of space, she wondered if the galaxy was truly ready for what was coming. She thought about what Dr. Lee Sung had said, "Be careful what you wish for." Now she understood what he meant. Part 3. First Contact with the Dominion. Admiral Park Ho stood on the bridge of his flagship. Through the window he could see the system, a yellow sun, 6 planets, and 2,000 Dominion warships. The Council observers stood behind him. Their faces were pale, their bodies shook. "Admiral," one of them said, "standard protocol says we should wait for reinforcements. We are outnumbered 5-1. Admiral Park Ho did not turn around. "How long have you been waiting for reinforcements in this war?" The observer was quiet. "That is what I thought." The admiral pressed the communication button. "All ships, this is Fleet Command. Begin attack pattern Delta 7. The human fleet did something the Dominion had never seen. Instead of forming lines, the ships scattered. They flew in random patterns. They crossed each other's paths. They broke every rule of space combat. The Dominion commander watched from his command ship. His name was not important. He would not live long enough for it to matter. "What are they doing?" he asked his officers. "This makes no sense." "Their formation is chaotic, Commander. Our targeting systems cannot predict their movements." "Then fire at random. With our numbers, we will hit something." The Dominion fleet opened fire. Thousands of energy beams cut through space. Some hit human ships, most did not. Then the humans fired back. Captain coordinated the attack from her station. Her fingers moved fast across her controls. "Launch nuclear missiles, all ships, fire everything." The Council observer grabbed her arm. "Nuclear weapons, in space combat, this is against all conventions." Captain pushed him away. "We did not sign your conventions." The missiles flew toward the Dominion fleet. They were not smart weapons. They did not lock onto targets. They were simple, brutal, effective. When they hit, they released energy that melted armor. Radiation flooded through Dominion ships. Crews died screaming. The Dominion commander watched his fleet burn. "What kind of weapons are these?" His officer checked the readings. "Nuclear fission devices, primitive but powerful. The radiation alone is killing our crews." "Impossible. No civilized species uses radiation weapons." "Commander, I do not think these humans are civilized." Admiral Park Ho pressed the attack. Human ships dove into the Dominion formation. They fired kinetic rounds that punched through hulls. They released missiles that sought heat sources. They fought without fear, without hesitation, without mercy. The battle lasted 4 hours. When it ended, the Dominion fleet was gone. 1,847 ships destroyed. Human losses, 4 ships, 23 damaged. The Council observers could not speak. They had watched their own fleet lose to smaller Dominion forces. They had watched their soldiers die by the millions. Now they watched humans tear through the enemy like wolves through sheep. Admiral Park Ho turned to them. His face was calm. "Contact your council. Tell them the system is free. We will liberate the planet below." Sergeant led the ground assault. Her soldiers landed on the occupied world in small drop ships. They hit the ground running. The Dominion garrison was large, 5,000 warriors. They had held this planet for 6 months. They expected to hold it for years more. They did not expect what came for them. Human soldiers moved through the cities like ghosts. They did not march in formation. They did not announce their presence. They attacked from shadows, from buildings, from underground. The Dominion warriors were confused. In their experience, battles were formal, Both sides gathered, both sides charged, the stronger side won. Humans did not fight this way. A Dominion patrol walked through an empty street. Suddenly, gunfire erupted from 3 directions. Half the patrol fell before they could react. The survivors tried to return fire, but the humans had already vanished. Another patrol found a building that should have been empty. When they entered, explosions ripped through the floors. Human soldiers had placed traps, devices that waited for victims. Sergeant personally led the assault on the Dominion Command Center. Her team cut through the walls. They came from angles the Dominion did not expect. They used grenades that filled rooms with fire. The Dominion commander tried to surrender. He raised his 4 arms. He spoke the words of formal capitulation. Sergeant shot him. Her soldiers looked at her in surprise. "He killed thousands of civilians on this world," she said. "There is no surrender for war criminals." The remaining Dominion troops sent a desperate message to their empire. These humans do not follow rules. They do not negotiate. They do not stop. They fight at night. They fight in weather. They fight when wounded. They fight until everyone is dead. The message reached Warlord, supreme commander of all Dominion forces. He was a massive creature, tall as 3 humans, strong as 10. He had conquered 200 worlds. He had never lost a battle. He read the reports from. Then he asked for everything his empire knew about humans. His analysts worked through the night. They studied human history, human wars, human weapons. The next morning, they presented their findings. Warlord learned about World War I, millions dead in trenches, gas attacks, machine guns cutting down soldiers by the thousands. He learned about World War II, cities burned, atomic bombs dropped, 60 million dead. He learned about nuclear arsenals, weapons that could destroy all life on a planet, weapons that humans pointed at each other for decades. He learned about human biology, how they could survive injuries that would kill other species, how they could adapt to any environment, how they could push their bodies beyond any reasonable limit. He learned about human psychology, their capacity for love and hate, their ability to hold grudges across generations, their willingness to die for ideas. When the analysts finished, Warlord sat in silence. Finally, he spoke. These creatures evolved on a world that tried to kill them every day. They responded by becoming killers. Every part of their history is written in blood. He looked at his officers. "For the first time in my life, I am not certain we can win." The word spread through the Dominion fleet. The humans were coming. The monsters from the species that killed for sport. The warriors who did not know how to stop. For the first time in the war, the Dominion advance halted. For the first time, the Empire began to feel fear. Admiral Park Ho received word of the Dominion's pause. He smiled. "Good," he said. "Let them be afraid. Fear is a weapon too." He looked at his fleet, now joined by grateful survivors from. "But fear will not save them. Nothing will save them. We have only started." The war was about to change forever. Part 4: The War Turns. 6 months after humans joined the war, nothing was the same. Captain stood before a holographic map of the galaxy. Red areas showed Dominion territory. Blue showed Council space. And now, green showed systems that humans had liberated. "We call this strategy the Swarm," she explained to the Council military leaders. "Small teams, fast ships, hit and run. We do not fight their main fleet. We destroy everything that supports it." She pointed at the map. Supply lines cut, fuel stations destroyed, communication relays silent. "The Dominion army is hungry," she said. "Their ships cannot refuel. Their soldiers cannot resupply. Every day they grow weaker." A council general spoke up. "But this is not honorable warfare. You attack without warning. You target civilians who work at supply stations. You destroy infrastructure instead of fighting soldiers." Captain looked at him. Her eyes were cold. "How many worlds has your honorable warfare saved, General?" He did not answer. "Humans do not fight for honor," she continued. "We fight to win. Honor is what survivors write about after the war is over." Dr. Lee Sung worked on a different front. He traveled to planets the Dominion had conquered. He spoke to the local populations. He found something interesting. The Dominion ruled through fear. The conquered species were not loyal, they were slaves. "You hate them," Dr. Lee Sung said to a group of resistance leaders on an occupied world. "But you do nothing. Why?" An old alien answered, "Because fighting means death. They are too strong. They have always been too strong." "They are not too strong anymore." Dr. Lee Sung showed them recordings of human victories. "The Dominion is bleeding. They can be hurt. They can be killed. And you can help us kill them." He gave them weapons. He taught them tactics. He showed them how to sabotage equipment, how to spread information, how to turn fear against their masters. Within weeks, rebellions erupted across Dominion space. Nothing large, nothing that could threaten the Empire alone, but together, 1,000 small cuts began to drain Dominion blood. Warlord watched the reports with growing anger. His supply lines were broken. His conquered worlds were rebelling, and the human fleet kept growing. "Where are these ships coming from?" he demanded. "We destroy them and more appear." His intelligence officer showed him the data. The humans have allied with multiple council species. They have captured Dominion ships and repaired them. They have built new vessels using methods we do not understand. "How many ships do they have now?" "We estimate over 1,000, Commander, and the number grows every day." Warlord made a decision. "We will crush them now, before they grow stronger. Gather the main fleet. We will meet them at the nebula and end this." Both sides knew the battle would decide the war. Admiral Park Ho gathered his fleet, 1,200 ships, humans, council allies, former Dominion vessels captured and turned against their makers. Warlord brought everything, 3,000 warships, his best warriors, his strongest weapons. The two fleets met in the purple clouds of the nebula. At first, the Dominion seemed to have the advantage. Their ships were larger. Their weapons were more powerful. They pushed the human fleet back. But Admiral Park Ho had planned for this. "Rotate the shifts," he ordered. "Fresh crews to the front, tired crews to the back." The council observers did not understand. Rotate shifts during battle. The battle lasted 3 days, 3 days of constant fighting. No pause, no rest. Dominion crews began to fail. Their species needed 12 hours of sleep per cycle. After 40 hours without rest, they made mistakes. After 60 hours, they began to collapse. Human crews worked in 8-hour shifts. Fresh soldiers replaced tired ones. The human fleet never slowed. "This is impossible," Warlord growled. "No species can fight without stopping." His medical officer checked the data. The humans are rotating their crews. They have 3 times as many soldiers as they need. While some fight, others rest. "Then we will do the same." "We cannot, Commander. Our ships do not have room for extra crews. This was never necessary before. No one fights for 3 days." On the second day, Sergeant led boarding parties onto Dominion command ships. The Dominion warriors were exhausted. Their movements were slow. Their aim was poor. Human soldiers cut through them like knives through water. Reached the bridge of a Dominion carrier. The commander tried to fight her. He was twice her size. He had 4 arms. She ducked under his swing. She drove her blade into his knee. When he fell, she finished him. "Ship secured," she reported, moving to the next target. By the end of the 3rd day, Warlord faced a terrible choice. His fleet had lost over 1,000 ships. His crews were dying from exhaustion. The humans showed no signs of stopping. He gave the order that no Dominion commander had ever given. "All ships retreat." His officers stared at him. Retreat. The Dominion had never retreated. They conquered or they died. There was no third option. "Did you hear me?" Warlord roared. "Retreat now." The Dominion fleet fled. Human ships chased them, destroying hundreds more before they escaped. When the battle ended, Admiral Park Ho surveyed the wreckage. Thousands of Dominion ships floated dead in space. The nebula glowed with the fires of destruction. The Council observers could not believe what they had seen. The mighty Dominion broken, their fleet shattered, their legendary commander running for his life. Admiral Park Ho opened a channel to his fleet. "This is just the beginning," he said. "The Dominion is wounded but not dead. We will chase them to the edge of the galaxy if we must. We will burn every ship, take every system, free every world." He paused. They wanted a war, now they have one, and humans do not lose. The message spread across the galaxy. The Dominion had retreated. The humans had won. On Council worlds, people celebrated in the streets. For the first time in years, they had hope. On Dominion worlds, people began to whisper. Maybe the Empire was not invincible. Maybe freedom was possible. And on Earth, Director Jin watched the victory reports with a small smile. "Good work," she said to herself. "But the hard part is still coming. Winning the war is easy. Winning the peace is harder." She was more right than she knew. Part 5: The Galaxy's Fear. Victory was coming. Everyone could see it. The Dominion was dying. Their empire was falling apart. Human fleets moved through their territory like fire through dry grass. But on the Council, High Counselor could not sleep. She stood at her window, watching human ships patrol her sky. Human soldiers walked through her streets. Human advisors worked in her government buildings. "We asked them to save us," she thought, "and they did. So why am I afraid?" Ambassador came to see her. The golden-furred diplomat had worked with humans for 2 years now. She understood them better than anyone else on the Council. "You feel it too," said. It was not a question. Nodded. "When the war ends, what happens then? The humans are everywhere now. Their ships, their soldiers, their merchants, their ideas." "I have been watching them closely," said. "The humans adapt faster than any species I have ever seen. They learned our languages in months. They improved our technologies in weeks. They understand our politics better than we do. That is what frightens me." Elder Mora joined them. The ancient advisor had been studying human history for the entire war. What she found did not give her comfort. "I have analyzed every civilization humans have encountered," she said. "Every culture, every society. Do you know what I found?" Was almost afraid to ask, "What?" "They absorb everything. Human civilization is like a great ocean. Every river that flows into it becomes part of it. Languages, religions, technologies, art, music, everything becomes human eventually." She showed them data on her display. "Within a century, human influence will spread to every corner of Council space, not through conquest, through competition. Human businesses will outperform ours. Human artists will captivate our people. Human ideas will shape our thoughts." Spoke softly. "They will not destroy us, they will replace us." The 3 leaders sat in heavy silence. Then made a decision. "Call a secret session of the Council, all members, no humans present." The secret session lasted 2 days. Representatives from all 12 Council species debated what to do about humanity. Some argued for war. Attack them now while their numbers are small, while they are focused on the Dominion. We may never have another chance. Others argued against. That is madness. We have seen what they do in war. We would not survive. Some argued for restrictions. Limit human ships in Council space. Control human trade. Prevent them from growing stronger. Others said this would never work. They will find ways around any rules we make. They always do. The debate went in circles. No one could agree. Then Dr. Lee Sung appeared. The council chamber fell silent. The human diplomat walked calmly to the center of the room. Behind him, the guards who should have stopped him stood frozen with shock. "How did you know about this meeting?" demanded. Dr. Lee Sung smiled slightly. "High Counselor, we have been living among you for 2 years. We have learned your languages, your customs, and your secrets. Did you really think you could hide this from us?" He looked around at the frightened faces. "I heard your debate. Some of you want to destroy us, others want to control us, all of you fear us." He nodded. "That fear is reasonable. We are everything your nightmares imagined." He began to walk slowly around the room. "We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. We responded by becoming the most adaptable, competitive, and dangerous species this galaxy has ever produced. We spread. We conquer. We transform everything we touch." He stopped in front of Elder Mora. "Your analysis was correct. Within a century, human influence will dominate Council civilization. This is not a threat. It is simply what happens when you invite us into your home." Her voice was strong, but her hands trembled. "Then what would you have us do? Accept our extinction?" "No," Dr. Lee Sung's voice became softer. "I would have you understand something that you missed in your analysis." He walked back to the center of the room. "You studied our wars, our violence, our capacity for destruction. This is real. This is who we are." He paused. "But it is not all we are." He showed images on the central display. Humans helping after disasters. Humans adopting orphans from other species. Humans building hospitals on poor worlds. Humans sharing food with the hungry. The same pressures that made us dangerous also made us compassionate. We form bonds across boundaries. We protect the weak. We adopt those who are different from us. We created concepts like mercy, redemption, and sacrifice because we understand what cruelty really means. He looked at each council member. "You can try to destroy us. Others have tried. It has never worked. Or you can trust us, not because we are safe. We are not safe. Trust us because we choose to be kind. That choice is the most human thing about us." The chamber was silent. "The Dominion ruled through fear," Dr. Lee Sung continued. "When they conquered you, they made you slaves. When we win this war, we could do the same. We have the power. We have the weapons. We could make you bow." His voice became firm. "But we will not, because that is not who we choose to be." He turned to leave. "Wait," called. "How do we know you are telling the truth? How do we know you will keep your word?" Dr. Lee Sung stopped at the door. "You don't. You can only watch what we do and decide for yourselves." He looked back one last time. "We came here because you asked for help. We fought your war because you needed warriors. Now the question is, what happens next? That answer is not up to us alone. It is up to all of us, together." Then he was gone. The council sat in silence for a long time. Finally, Elder Mora spoke. "In 900 years of life, I have never heard a more honest speech. He admitted humans are dangerous. He offered no guarantees. He only asked for a chance." Closed her eyes. "Can we give them that chance?" Ambassador answered. "We asked predators to protect us. They did. Now they ask us to trust their mercy. After everything we have seen, perhaps we owe them that much." The vote was close, but in the end the council chose to trust. They did not know if they were making the right choice. Only time would tell.